Okay, this will be an interesting one. We're going to do something funny to it. It's going to look really funny. It's not something I actually hate, but I don't bother with it anymore. Something I was brought up with. We're going to look at that later. So we're just going to set this bleed removal just a little bit there, and we're just going to make it contrasty, and the copy density just stay in the middle, maybe a bit lighter to get rid of some of the background, to make it really brightish, so make it nice. So it's going to be an interesting one size wise, if we can make this look funny, but it's going to be an interesting one, hopefully. Okay, let's see what it is. I cut this out of a newspaper. It's basically a cricketer. So yeah, cricket. I do have a slight appreciation for cricket because my parents used to have it on the television in the summertime, and it's been going since I was a little kid. So it's about the size of a B6 almost. B6 and almost the length of an A4. So we're going to enlarge it slightly there, and we're going to enlarge it heaps this way. So it's going to be a funny distorted shape. So B6 to A4, I don't know if I've got that setting on here. There's a B5 to A4, which is that. B6 is a different one. I think 170 maybe for B6. So the vertical, I think we'll just make it 170. And the horizontal is going to be maybe a smallish number by comparison, 100, and we're going 109 or 107, 110. So this will be an interesting take on this subject of cricket. Let's see if we've made this cricketer look interesting. But yeah, it's something I was brought up with when I was a kid. It was in my early days when we used to live in Queensland back in the 70s, so I was really young. And this was always on the parents' TV. And looks like we cut part of him off. We didn't actually get it quite right, but I'm thinking we're going to make a mirror image. We might as well cut something off, and that looks really good. We might just cut a bit more of that off to get rid of the writing, but we're going to make this into a work of art. So let's see how we go. We'll make it bigger than 110. We're going to make it perhaps 116 that way, and maybe a little bit bigger than 170. So we're going to probably make it 175. But yeah, I do have an appreciation for the game. It just gives on a hot summer's day, it just gives atmosphere to the house. But I don't watch television anymore anyway, so I don't watch cricket. I'm not really big on cricket. I just appreciate it because my parents used to have it on all the time in the summertime, so that's why I have a soft spot for it. It's just a soft spot, folks. I'm not big on it. I'm thinking that's going to be the centre, but I still appreciate it. I prefer it to football. I was brought up to hate footy, rugby league, but basically cricket was, and my brother used to play cricket as well when he was young. And another thing that my brother did was soccer. Before he got into cricket, he got into soccer. So my brother's done some sport. I haven't done hardly any sport. I'm not into sport. I didn't enjoy doing sport at school. So, except when we did ice skating, when my parents could fork out a bit of extra money so I could do ice skating. Only problem I had with ice skating was it was difficult getting the skates on properly. Took a bit of a fiddle, and by the time I had the skates on, it was almost finished. And also some of the skates were blunt, especially when you're at the end of the queue, if I'm correct. So yeah, skates were often blunt, so you couldn't enjoy yourself. So things weren't always that good. School was shit anyway, if you want a better word for it. So now we're just going to take these. Oh, fuck. Original size. Miscalculation or whatever. The machine just spat the dummy at me size-wise. So we have to manually select. Here we go. We have to manually select the original size for this. I just can't predict when it's going to do this, when the machine doesn't, when in mirror image mode it doesn't read the image properly or understand. I don't know how this fucking shit works. It's just rubbish, this stupid system we have here. At least it works. At least, unlike my C353, which broke down and became unfixable, well, it probably could have been fixed, but I would have had to pay a lot of money, and it may not have been fixable because the spare parts weren't able to be guaranteed. So they took off the service agreement because Konica Minolta, the manufacturer, couldn't guarantee the parts, and Mytronics, the company I got this machine off, has to basically pass on the rubbish that Konica Minolta do. And basically it's not Mytronics' fault, it's the company that made the photocopier, Konica Minolta. So I have a real beef against the copier industry, but enough of that. There you have it, cricketers, or a cricketer. That looks quite interesting. I think now we can call this one quits.